All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me close the door here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are here tonight on the show, and we're going to talk about wrestling news. We have a bunch of news today, ladies and gentlemen, and then we'll talk about Dynamite recap. So the first thing tonight that was before they did Dynamite, there was a backstage meeting with a bunch of the wrestlers, and it's because they're trying to figure out if they can bring Thunder Rosa back into the company because apparently she had a lot of problems with a lot of the women wrestlers, mostly Britt Baker. Remember, I think at one point Britt Baker called her a sandbag, which means that like when you like try to like you wrestle her and you try to body slam her, she doesn't really do much to like try to help. Like a wrestler, you're supposed to try to almost like help the opponent, right? Pick you up and slam you, and that she just like stands and you have to like 100% try to lift her up and body slam her. She's not a really good helper when it comes to performing in the ring. And so they had a meeting today. I guess she's finally healthy after that back injury she had for a few months, and I guess they're trying to figure. I guess they're trying to figure out if they want to bring her back or not. They might release her, I guess, if they feel it's not good for business to bring her back. And a lot of people are saying that they might do the same thing with CM Punk because he's scheduled be cleared by the medical staff in May to come back and wrestle. So they're saying they could have a similar one in the next few weeks, months for CM Punk about if it's good for business for him to come back into the company. Like I said, Dave Meltzer said there's a lot of melting to do, melting what he said, melting fences, a lot of apologies that need to be done that have not been done yet. So we'll see, man. They haven't took. I guess they're saying May is when CM Punk would be clear to come back. So we'll see, man. And then you saw today's episode. I believe MJF said, "Bryan Danielson, you're not the best in the world. I'm the best in the world." Now, Bryan Danielson is not known for that catchphrase. That catchphrase is known by CM Punk. So are they potentially already decided to bring him back and already planting the seeds for the first feud to be with MJF for the AEW World Championship? Who knows, ladies and gentlemen? Let's see. There's more news. Let's see here. They're saying that Jay White, he's still trying to figure out what he wants to do. They're saying, I don't know if there's much more I could have done in New Japan. I don't feel like I left a bunch of boxes unchecked. So Jay White feels like he's ready to move on from New Japan and go on to a different company, most likely either WWE or AEW. He also says so much is possible at Impact, AEW, WWE, AEW, we'll see. So he looks like he definitely wants to come back to America and wrestle here, whether it's for even Impact, AEW, or WWE. So it looks like Jay White, we know for sure he seems to be like he's finished with New Japan. Okay, let's see more news. Bianca Belair getting interviewed and talking about Bayley. I love Bayley. I feel like she's one of the 4 horsewomen that doesn't get as much credit as she should. She does so much that's not for herself. Because a horsewoman, if you don't know, it's Bayley, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, and Sasha Banks. And yeah, she kind of is the one that didn't get the much credit, right? The other 2 went on to be megastars. Now Bayley, I thought like in the pandemic era, I thought she really got over as both. I mean, at one point she was the tag team champion, and at the same time she was like the women's champion. She was pretty much carrying the company along with Sasha Banks that spring summer with the pandemic before Roman Reigns came in, right? From like March to like July, her and Sasha carried the company, right? People forget because remember Roman Reigns set out like the first 5 months of the pandemic, remember? And these 2 were the ones that were carrying the company, Sasha Banks and Bayley. And I think I saw an article where Triple H did say that he views more now Becky Lynch and Bayley as stars more than he does with Charlotte. And of course, obviously, Sasha's gone from the company. But yeah, good stuff by Bianca Belair. Let's see here. And then this is Tony Khan. It would be great if Bryan Danielson is in the G1 in many ways, but Bryan Danielson is quite possible could be AEW World Champion. Either way, I mean, I think it'd be hard for him to disappear from the show, especially. So they're pretty much talking about potentially. I think G1 is a show for Japan, and they're talking about possibly Bryan Danielson being on there. And Tony Khan saying, I don't know, he could be AEW World Champion. Now, I do not think they put the title on him because I feel that would be very short title reign for MJF. He just won it in November. And you're already going to take it away in March. So my prediction is MJF's going to retain it, but we'll see what happens. Roman Reigns officially champion for 900 days. Congratulations to Roman Reigns, man. 26 title defenses, has not been pinned since 2019. The longest reigning champion in the last 30 years. Congratulations to Roman Reigns, 900 days as WWE Universal Champion. Let's see here. I think there's more stuff. So Ring of Honor is officially coming up with a TV show. It's called Ring of Honor TV. It's coming up on Thursday, March 2 on Honor Club. So that's going to be the debut for Ring of Honor TV show, March 2nd. We'll have our first tapings on February 25th, February 26th at Universal Studios in Orlando. And we're going to put tickets on sale for the interracial taping on Thursday. So Tony Khan, so officially, so it's going to be on Thursdays, I would think. So we're going to have Dynamite on Wednesdays. On Thursdays, we're going to have Ring of Honor. I think it's going to be called Honor Club. And then we're going to have Rampage on Fridays. And then remember, it's only on YouTube. They have Dark Revelation on Mondays. So now AEW, outside of Tuesdays, is going to be on every week in some form of capacity. I believe this show is mostly on a streaming app, though. So it won't be on TV. It's like it's going to kind of be like the Monday show, Dark Revelation. It's going to be more like a streaming thing. But still, in some form of capacity, AEW will now have a TV show every day of the week except Tuesday. Pretty crazy, man. Let's see how does it. Rampage is doing terrible with the ratings, man. Let's see how this. Well, I don't even know if it'll go by ratings, right? Because it's going to be a streaming, so I don't even know. And then they asked him about MJF. Like, he's very challenging personality and very hard to work with, but he's a great professional wrestler. Talking about MJF, man. Yeah, so I guess he is. It's not just a character. It legit is his personality. MJF is kind of difficult to work with. Let's see here. I think we're done. Some people are thinking there's going to be a match now between CM Punk. Excuse me, I beg your pardon. Not CM, Shawn Michaels and Waller. Because of all the interaction they've been having, it's kind of interesting because like Triple H, he kind of stays like behind the scenes, right, running things. Where Shawn Michaels is now doing the storyline when he's getting on TV with Waller, and a lot of people think it's going to lead up to a match. I don't think it is. I just think Shawn Michaels is just doing his like an on TV character general manager. But we'll see what happens. Let's see here. So they asked Goldberg. He said the Rihanna concert was terrible. It was horrible. It was disgusted. I don't know why Goldberg opinion matters on Rihanna's concert. Honestly, I don't even know why you would ask him that. But what I guess it's just his normal opinion as a normal human being. Whatever. But yeah, I think that's about it with the news. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's about it with the news. Let's move on with Dynamite. All right, so yesterday, so Dynamite. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We always struggle getting a. I think we got. Do we have a? Oh, perfect. We got the article I like. Okay, so here we go. Dynamite from Laredo, Texas. Weren't they in El Paso last week? And now they're in Laredo. They love Texas. It seems like Dynamite AEW just goes to like New York, Chicago, Las Vegas, and Texas. New York, Chicago, Las Vegas, Texas. Those are the only freaking four states they go to. Occasionally they go to the West Coast. Occasionally. But mostly they seem to spend their time around, or Florida. That's another one, Florida. So yeah, they only go to like maybe 4 or 5 states and just. This is the second week in a row they do a show. Last week I believe it was El Paso, Texas. This week it was Laredo, Texas. Okay. So here we go. We kicked it off with an 8-man tag team match. Jeff Jarrett wrestling after his father had passed away. Shout out to him for doing this. Freaking Max Caster did his rap where people were not like, they were not into it. I think they were showing some capacity for some compassion for Jeff Jarrett for wrestling hours after his father had passed away. Yeah, and I think part of it too, perhaps the Acclaim has now lost momentum after losing the tag team championships. Who knows? But anyways, it ended up being Jeff Jarrett, Sonya Dutt, Stanton Sign, and Jay Lethal versus Orange Cassidy, the Acclaim, Daddy Ass Billy Gunn. Okay, whatever. It was a good match, it was good. At the end, freaking the Acclaim, Orange Cassidy, and Billy Gunn won. It was good shit, I get. The Ass Boys were out there, but eh. And then we have another match. We have a Texas, so back-to-back tag team matches started off. Next, we had a Texas Tornado tag team match with John Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli versus the Rush and Preston Vince. Another good match. I think they're teasing a Claudio Castagnoli Rush Ring of Honor championship match for Revolution, but we'll see. So great match. Everybody's bleeding all over the place, man. Everybody's freaking at the end, man. Freaking John Moxley and John Moxley wins. John Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli win. After the match, freaking Adam Page comes out, and they end up having some words. The Dark Order comes out, as backup for Adam Page, since John Moxley has Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta. And they pretty much agreed to have a match at Revolution. Texas Death Match. So that I guess that's going to be the blow of the feud. That'll be the blow up of the feud, I guess. A Texas Death Match at Revolution between John Moxley and Adam Page. And then this was kind of good. Wardlow did an interview with Jim Ross, and this was very realistic. He pretty much said that his father died from cancer, and that Wardlow, to keep having a connection with him, he decided to grow his hair and his beard because his father had lost that during the treatment. And so he said Samoa Joe knew that story, and that's why he cut my hair. He decided to cut the one thing that me and my father united us. So now he's pissed off. He's going to destroy him. So good. This makes good storyline. This is a good storyline. I like it. This probably might be the second best storyline all of a sudden, right behind the MJF, Bryan Danielson. Okay. I don't know. Let me continue, and then I'll say what I want to say. Josh Woods versus Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe is official with the company. They announced. Mark Briscoe wins. Let's see here. What Adam Cole interview. Same thing. Very normal interview. Kind of felt legit with Renee Papuckett. pretty much says, I'm not quite ready to get cleared by medical staff. That makes sense because he made his return about a month ago and he still hasn't wrestled or been in any type of storyline. And it's because he's not quite clear yet. He said, I can't wait to get clear eventually, but I feel much better. I don't throw up anymore when I go on a car ride for more than 10 minutes. My eyes don't I guess his eyes were flickering a lot. They don't do that anymore. So yeah, I'm getting very close. I'm excited to be back. So pretty much an update was, I'm not quite ready to get cleared to compete. Okay, at least we know now why he hasn't been in any storylines yet. And then we freaking get MJF, man. And he pretty much they put the half and half commercial and half the freaking show, and freaking he freaking threw a water, what was it, a beer or something, at a fan. It was hilarious. I think he came up to a couple and he had the girl kiss him in the cheek, and then I think he flicked off the boyfriend. It was hilarious, man. MJF, and they said that on Flight TV for the international fans, they don't get commercials. They get to see all of this. That's cool, man. For the international fans, they don't even have to go to commercial breaks. At least we got the picture-in-picture. So he just pretty much, he's talking shit, and he says, I'm going to beat Bryan Danielson. I know it's going to be the hardest match of my career, but I'm going to find a way to beat him. And then he brings out, what was his name? He brings out Chris Angel, and he's like, this is what he really thinks about Bryan Danielson. And Chris Angel right away reveals, I've been paid a shit ton of money to talk shit about Bryan Danielson, but I'm not going to. And maybe years ago I would have taken the money, but now I'm a changed man. And he pretty much goes the opposite route. He's like, Bryan Danielson is going to kick your ass at Revolution, and there's going to be nothing you can do about it. He's going to be the new AEW World Champion. MJF is so fucking pissed off. They start insulting each other. Then I believe MJF pushes him, and then he gets all pissed off, and then MJF ends up hitting him in the balls, and then puts him in an armbar submission hold. And out comes running Bryan Danielson to save him, and MJF goes running away. It was good. At this point, you don't have to. It wasn't as good as last week, but it was good. At this point, you don't have to do much with MJF. Anything you do, he does a good job. After last week, MJF carried the first hour of the show, right? With his match with Takeshita, and then that promo he did backstage. And then even after Bryan Danielson's match with Rush, going out there and beating up. But I thought last week he kind of carried the show the first hour. This week it was only a 10-15 minute promo, but it was still good. It might have been the best part of the show, honestly. And then we get freaking Jungle Boy versus the Machine, Brian Cage. Jungle Boy wins. And then after the match, Christian is back. He comes out with a sling. The commentator oh my God, it's been months and he's still hurt. And then Jungle Boy's starting to get close to him. And Christian hits him with a pepper spray. He blinds him. And then he takes the arm thing off. And he starts beating him up. He does the kill switch on top of the stage. And so I guess the feud continues, right? They're going to finish this feud now that Christian is finally healthy from the shoulder injury. Where the hell is Luchasaurus, though? Nowhere to be found. But anyways, maybe a match at Revolution. We'll see. And then we get Hangman Page versus Kip Sabian. Whatever. Then we get the Jericho Appreciation promo. The Jericho Appreciation Society, to me right now, is kind of lost. They got to end this feud with Ricky Starks. Man, I don't know. I feel like, they're kind of lost to the point where lately they're not even going out of the ring to do their promos or doing them backstage. I don't know, man. Right now, I feel like Chris Jericho, for maybe the first time in his AEW career, is kind of just lost. I don't think he's in one of the top 3 storylines. I don't know, man. I have no idea. I don't think enough people care about this. I don't think people care that much about this Chris Jericho, Ricky Starks anymore. And then the main event, which I don't know if they copied the WWE, but it was the same thing, a women's triple threat match. just like WWE did on Raw with Bayley, Becky, and Bianca. They do the same thing here with Toni Storm, Britt Baker, and Ruby Soho. Pretty good match, man. At the end, man, freaking Ruby Soho wins. So Ruby Soho wins the match. And then after the match, she gets freaking beat up. It was good. Good stuff. This show, like, man, I think AEW, it's more about like the in-ring shit. I don't have the same demanding I do with WWE when it comes to storylines. One of the biggest is because AEW doesn't even have writers, right? It's all Tony Khan and the wrestlers. So I don't put the expectations too high on AEW with the storylines. Now there's some good stuff going on with MJF and Bryan Danielson. I like what they did this week with Samoa Joe and Wardlow adding feud to that storyline. Kind of interested in the Jon Moxley, Adam Page stuff, but it's more about like just guys getting in there and beating the shit out of each other. I feel like it's just a hardcore stuff, man. It's a hardcore stuff. You're not going to see any of the cinematic stuff like Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn on AEW. That's how you separate the two companies, man. But yeah, man, I mean, it was okay, I guess. It felt like this week there was never that match that, oh, holy cow. I think they tried to do with Tornado Texas with Moxley and Claudio versus Rush and that other guy with the blood and everything, but I don't think it quite hit. I don't think it was like this. Usually have like at least one, even 2 or 3 matches. Like, holy cow, what a hell of a match that was! Like last week, it was MJF. They had 2 last week, I think. MJF, Takashita, and Bryan Danielson, Rush. Right, great matches. I think the previous week it was Samoa Joe versus Darby Allin for the TNT Championship. This week, they tried, I think, right? Like, especially like I said, with that Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli tag team match with Rush, but it just felt like they never had that great match this week. Probably the best part was probably the Bryan Danielson, Chris Angel, MJF segment. And yeah, man, we'll see what the hell happens. But until next time, I'm out. Holla!